Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to episode number 12 in our Oxygen Not Included Redux series. I am doing some preparations to send colonists over over to our Gurgani asteroid. Our plan for Gurgani is to get a duplicate set up to build food farms over there so that we can all over food. Just noticed right as we were starting that I have a little bit of a problem with my food farm here. Apparently one of my shovels, probably one I captured outside of the area that got out and put back in, had eaten something, spit up some regolith. It's right on top of our grooming station, so we stopped grooming, which is bad. Means that our shovels aren't laying enough eggs. We ran out of eggs, and now our population is dropping. Fortunately, I caught it before we ran out. Otherwise, we'd be in serious trouble because even though we have almost 2 million calories, we would burn through that pretty quick at 20,000 calories a day. So we're going to have a duplicate come up here and fix this real quick. And I'm not going to worry too much about changing everything here because this is temporary still. We're going to be setting up a proper shovel ranch on the other asteroid. That's the whole point of going there. Other thing I want to show you before we get started is a project I'm doing down here. So I want to get rid of all this liquid. We're working on that in the last episode. And we're slowly going through it. The water level has dropped. But the water that we're using for our oxygen and for toilets and stuff isn't a lot, and so we're only processing a little bit of that liquid at a time, very slowly working its way through, and I want to do more. So I already have these lines that I ran down to the bottom. I connected 2 of them up so far, and I built these oil well systems. So they're basically the same, just mirror copies of each other, but water comes in. I have the water coming down from our storage. It's pretty cold, so I have it going through a radiant pipe through the oil, so it does some counterflow to lower the temperature of the crude oil. And the reason I do that is I don't want this water, when it's sitting in the pipes while we're waiting for the pressure to be released, to heat up too much, because if it gets over 100 then it'll break and I'll have steam, and then I'll have to clean that up. And I did set this up so that we have mesh tiles here so that we can mop up if that does happen, but this should hopefully prevent it. The diamond tile helps the oil transmit temperature evenly through the whole place, basically to try to balance everything out so that we don't get to the point where anything spikes up too high and causes the water. The whole point of temperature control. Natural gas comes out when we release the pressure from the oil well. If it goes over 500 grams, the gas pump pumps it out, and then it just goes up to our storage from both of them. Pretty simple. We just finished building it, so I got to clean up the debris left behind from the construction, and we're still getting rid of some of our scaffolding bricks we used to get around and do stuff. But it's pretty much done. Because of a little water spill while I was still working on things. I wanted to get this set up so that this water will keep processing. We're not going to be using the oil for a little while. Eventually we're going to be setting up in this area our petroleum boiler, but we'll get to that when we get to it. I am also flattening out this area so I can push all the oil to the side. My plan is to have an oil well over here that is supplied by these two, and then I will have this one that we already have set up. This reservoir will pump oil over to this one, and we'll have just one tank, and this will collect all the oil that comes from the slicksters that are still going to stay here even when we do the food farms on the other asteroid, because they're going to be what cleans up our carbon dioxide from our power plant. This is permanent, and we're going to set up this oil reservoir and make it so it drops the oil into here as well, and then all of it will get collected into one collection over here, That'll be what supplies our petroleum boiler, which will power our base as we move forward. But like I said, I don't want to work on that today. I want to get our food on Gurgani set up. So these guys are going to just do this slowly while they have time. Once they finish a layer, I'll add on another one. It'll just happen in the background. Before we go to Gurgani, what we need to set up is getting our duplicates ready. And the thing that I want first is I want to put in a skill scrubber. I'm going to put it in down here. I had it outside of the base before because I was worried about heat. The thing doesn't get used often. Coolant in here will take care of that little bit of heat it gives. No big deal. And we have space here, so it's going right here. So, as far as skills go, I have decided I'm going to take a few duplicates over. We can only take them one at a time, and there's a delay in between. But I figured what better way to do it than take our original duplicates. So that's Washington, Adams, Jefferson. Washington can go first. The issue that I have at the moment is that Washington is our Masterworks decorator, and he's our only one for this colony. And so, because of that, if I take him out, if I decide, hey, I want to do some decorating on this side, I don't have one. So, I need to find another duplicate that has plenty of points available. Folks, morale current morale so low. Anyway, we'll get him fixed up, but let's make him our Masterworks decorator. He'll be able to handle skills because they are learned skill or interested skills. And what's interesting about that is that in the morale on his next day, since he has learned interested skills, he'll get extra morale for that. So for each one of these interested skills he learns, he gets a morale point. So the morale need for them is negated by the fact that he's interested in them. So that means now we have a second Masterworks decorator, which means Washington can be skill scrubbed without any problems. So we're going to set him up to do that just by assigning him here. And once he is done, we'll get him ready to go across, and we'll send him over to Gurgani, and we'll do some work over there today, getting prepped on that colony for what we need to sustain the number of duplicates we're going to have over. I just noticed another urgent issue that I need to fix before I can head over to our other colony. The steam turbine here set up. I made it a long time ago. Didn't seem to have any problems because this was all water. It was able to absorb a lot of heat before this started running. Well, as soon as it started running, this I accidentally made out of oxygen. Not. Which means it broke. I need to get in here, switch that out for steel. I'm going to do that. Okay, I made a little bit of a janky airlock here. It's just temporary, so it doesn't have to be perfect. But originally I was going to come in from this side, so I dug it down, and then I realized that if I do that, then duplicates are going to be coming here. So Atmo's suit, and they're going to get all scalded and burned, and they're still getting a little scalded even with their suit. But I didn't do that. But this keeps the hydrogen locked in, keeps the steam locked in. I'm putting some extra oil in because when I seal it up, I'm just going to leave the oil down here, and that way, if I have to break it open again to get back in, but normally when I'm patching stuff back up like this, it's because I built it in a pre-industrial area, so I didn't have do something. He's just idle. He doesn't. Why? I have other jobs for him. This I just made of dirt. Used iron instead of steel. I used sandstone instead of ceramic. So I replaced all the pipes inside here with ceramic pipes just in case. I replaced the automation wire with steel, replacing the aqua tuner with steel, replaced the power with steel. So everything should be fine. These don't matter because these will be sealed inside the block once I put it back together. So we're just waiting for people to come down in here and fix it. And everything should be good once that's done, and then we'll get back to what we were working on. I ran into another minor issue, one I fixed pretty quickly, but stuff was just not getting built. I didn't understand why, because it should have been, at priority 7, it should have been, I actually made it priority 8, it should have gotten done pretty quickly, but it was not, it was slowly getting delivered the material. What turns out is that I had set the priorities on these things. These were at 7 and these were at 6. And I was thinking that that would mean it would collect it for both of them, it would fill this one up first. But what in effect it meant is that until I made that priority 8, this was equal priority. So I would go to grab steel from somewhere, and somebody else would be like, that steel, I need that steel back here because it's priority 7. And it was causing issues. So now that that's priority 6, this is priority 7, this is getting built very quickly. And I did the same with the ceramic. So people are getting ceramic, they're bringing it in, they're delivering it, getting finished up. So almost finished here. We'll seal it back up and we'll get everything back and running. While we've been doing that, I've just slowly been working on filling in this tiles. This is all done at priority 5, so it just gets done when somebody's idle. Going pretty quick because there's not a lot for people to do right now. The base is pretty self-sufficient. We will have this almost done and we will get back to what we were doing. Okay, Washington is in the teleporter. We're ready to send him. Sends him like a... There he goes. We are on Gurgani. So let's take him out of his suit. That'll be there in case of... So here we have Gurgani. We've seen this before in our last playthrough because we're playing on the same map. We know a little bit what to expect, but as far as things go, we have a little bit of oxygen to start. We have a little bit of food to start. It says 17 kilograms. For some reason, that went out to 13.6 kilocalories. I don't forget exactly what. So basically, we have 13 cycles to get more food and more oxygen for Washington. Dead man. So we're going to do some playthrough around here. Just get the basics set up here on this colony so that we can start bringing people over, start building our food processing run. Just like every other colony, your priorities are setting up to get to a bathroom, bed, and clean water. I prioritize getting the outhouse done. I have this set on top priority now, so as soon as he wakes up, he'll go put dirt in it so he has somewhere to go to the bathroom. Hoping that'll keep him from making a mess. He does make a mess at the end. Clean it up and put it in with the dirty water. But the cot's ready, so we have to assign it to him, I guess. That was my mistake. He has a bed on the other asteroid, so he's not going to try to use the cot. There we go. Okay, now we're set. So he's going to finish sleeping. Going to grab dirt. Going to supply our outhouse. Set this back to priority 6 once he does. Cool. So he's using the bathroom. So now he can take his time digging out the rest of this. I'm not too worried if any of the polluted water gets in here because we already have some that's in there. But then our next priority is getting some water set up so that we can get a plumb toilet set up and getting over here to this supply teleporter output so that we can start handling all of the things here, because we can, if we get up to here, we can send food across. We can also, if we need to, send oxygen across. So that's not too bad of a priority. And then we can take our time and get a base set up where he can start doing all the work he needs to do to get this colony operative and running on its own. We have ended our first day on Gurgani. Washington is in bed. Safe bed to sleep in, which is a... oh, it's not a barracks. Oh, because it's not quite big enough. we need the room. Fine, we'll fix that tomorrow. What's the minimum? 12. So we'll dig out those 8 tiles and we'll be... he did use the bathroom in a latrine. That's good. And he had food. We didn't make a dining hall yet. We will do that next. But we need to prioritize what is important. First, most important thing that we need to do is getting fresh water sorted, getting the ability to turn that water into oxygen. Because that's how we're going. We do want to get up here to this teleporter so that we can send items over, because I'm not going to set up metal refineries. I'm not going to set up that kind of stuff. We're going to send steel and plastic over to get everything working over here. So thinking what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a little bit of a pit here just so I can let this water down so I can get up to that teleporter, and then we have access to this water that buys us. I think that's a good plan. So let's do that, and we'll do our same basic thing where we do 4 tile floors and dig out an area here to get over, and this, not put these ladders in. That means we can go up here, dig upwards, and tap into here to let all of this polluted water run down into our reservoir down there. And then that way we'll be able to work our way upwards and let the polluted water collect down here. We do have our natural gas geyser here. We also have a cobalt volcano here. I know that there was a slush geyser over here, which is probably what we're going to use for a more permanent water source. There's saltwater geyser as well. So we'll work on getting access to the other colony, get some steel and plastics brought over so that we can set up some systems to move all the water around, collect all the water, and have a water source, and then we'll get a spawn going. The teleporter divide, that'll make this colony take its first step towards self-sufficiency. It is time to defrost our friend. See what we got. First of all, you're going to be named. See our skills here. Starts off with some construction, means, activity. Bottomless stomach, I'm okay with that. They can eat anything, not getting sick. All said and done, pretty good. Bottomless stomach is kind of annoying because it's an extra 500 calories per second, but we have plenty of food. Okay, let's go to our skill tree. So Arthur, I'm not going to assign anything yet. Yeah, let's give him, give him carrying, fine, and we'll do construction. And then once we get more, we'll... Gave us an achievement. Let's check that out quick. Not take so long to load. First teleport car. Teleport a duplicate and defrost a friend on another world. While we're in here, check and see what we need to do. For 10 cycles in a row, have every duplicate in the colony complete at least one chore while wearing an exosuit. That shouldn't be too hard to set up. So to do the block of meteor, we actually have to get to an asteroid that has meteors. we don't have yet. Smooth hatches is something I plan to ranch on this colony. Setting up a tuning for our power generators we'll do over here as well before we make our final power thing. We can do this on this colony as well, build one of each room. We'll have to get to supercoolant for this, have to get the gassy moo for this, but we need that for the Critter Whisperer achievement anyway. We have to go to another planet for that. Nature reserves we'll do here. Non-default clothing will be easy. We'll just have to craft some of that. That's short. And this we need to go to space to get F-15 research items done, which is not far away from getting all the achievements done. A couple that'll take a while. The gassy moo, getting to that planet, getting supercoolant set up will take a little while, and getting to a planet with meteors is the other one that'll take a while because we have to get to one of the farther away planets to get that done. But we're getting very close to it. Okay, so we're gonna just let Arthur help out doing his thing here. We're gonna get the rest of this colony mapped out so we can see everything, and we're gonna start collecting some liquids together. That's our priorities right now. While we're doing that, I'm going to go back to Idiolius. I can still, 2 playthroughs, I still can't pronounce this. We're going to call it the idiot asteroid from now on. Happening. We're going to go over there and we're going to get this set up so that we can receive some things, and we're going to send across steel, plastic, and more food. Actually, the more food might wait because we might just use up some of the food that's. But I'm not sure. Because having barbecue would get rid of the grizzly meal debuff and actually give us some extra morale. Might do that too. We'll see how I feel once I get to that point. Set up a new transit tube access point. Power. And I'm working on connecting some gas pipes to our supply teleporter output on this side. Input. The output's on the other. So I am getting, basically I'm just getting it set up so that since I'm going to be sending stuff across to our duplicates, on the other side we're going to be connecting all this up so that this is ready to send. I probably will do some changes here to set up some more automation than just the loader, but I want it set up for now. The gas line, I decided in the end, rather than getting oxygen set up on the other asteroid right away, since I have such a large supply of oxygen, and I already have the output line run halfway, I'll just connect it. And then we can set up oxygen going to our new asteroid as well, which means that we'll be able to get into Atmos suits really quickly, because we already have oxygen coming through in a gas line. We can just connect it to our Atmos suits and have the excess sent out into our base. Since we're only going to be running a handful of colonists on the other asteroid, that will be fairly easy to maintain. We don't need to have a huge amount of oxygen. So this here, I'm going to check this. Once this pipe is finished, we'll have a 4th line coming down, and all I'm going to do is switch these lines here. So we'll have, this line will go like this, and this one will go here, and then this here, and then we're getting there. Back on the other colony, I have set up priority for them to dig down, which they've finished, and then they're cracked open in here, or they're working on it, and then we are going to the left even more. When I did this asteroid before, I just dug right into the uranium area here and kind of ignored the fact that it existed because I didn't want to get into it. But trying to get this colony to be every type of critter, I'm going to leave this area intact and leave it down here at the bottom of the map for now. And when I'm ready, I'll get into the beta hive and start using them to mine uranium. I have never done that before, but it is something that I think will be fun to do. And then we can use that as a power source for this asteroid as well. But so for now, I think this is as far down on this side as I'm going to go. I probably will work my way over a little bit once we get all the way down to here and clean some of this out for what. This is our natural gas. This was cobalt. That's what those were. I already checked them. This is the one I'm not sure about. So this is a gold volcano. Awesome. Probably going to set some of those up too to have refined metal going back as well. We will see. One of these. Okay, good. So they cracked this open, which means all this fluid is working its way down. I'm going to dig out some to let the fluid water continue to drain down into here. Crack this open a little farther. Give some space. Side. I'm also trying to collect a lot of these Aku together, so we have a place where we can start doing that for farming. I haven't quite come up with a design or layout yet for where I want everything. I just kind of want everything to get started here, and then we'll figure it out as we go. But I would like to get into all the different types of critters. So I'm thinking maybe once we get over to this side, I'll build a power spine, and we will start laying out where we're going to be putting our animals. And maybe the Pakus will be at the bottom, so we need to keep the liquid there for them. Not quite sure yet. We'll get there once we get there. For now, everything here on this colony is going okay. We still need to get our oxygen set up. Still need to get our food coming in, and then we can start working on taming the actual critters we have here, and then we will start bringing in critters from the other side as well. Back here on our home asteroid, we have finished our gas line to the supply teleport. Means that we have oxygen being run here, ready to be transported. On the Gurgani colony, Washington is finishing up the last few insulated pipes here. I have a pipe that just runs down the ladder. For now, it just comes out of gas vent, so we can fill the base with oxygen. Solid place for our duplicate. Now, we do plan on setting up some Atmos suits using oxygen in just a little while, but for now, I just wanted to make it so we had good stable here. Once this pressurizes, the gas line will stop. Be using too much oxygen. Not that it's a matter. Really matters much. We have quite a bit of oxygen. We want to make sure that this should be the last pipe. Connect it. One more pipe. Got a high priority. Are you idle? You going to break, Washington? Come do it. Go. Our last pipe installed. Now we have oxygen coming across our home asteroid to Gurgani. Perfect. Started collecting some of the water here together. Still working on collecting polluted water together. We have quite a supply of Pakus here. We get a bunch of eggs, which is great, so we can start our Paku properly. We're not able to get over to big orders because of space. Our little idle butts running across down here now. I'm going to continue working my way over here and then work on building our power spine up and down here so that we can start building our food. But for now, I'm going to call it an episode. We got the basics set up here. Still don't have food on this side of the uh, colony, but we will, in the short term, we will send barbecue over from the main colony. In the long term, we will set up ranching and everything over here, and that will provide food here, and we'll end up moving everything here where we're actually sending the food back to. Before I bring a large amount of food over here, though, I want to set up base a little more because I want to have a blast chiller for this side because I don't want to be grabbing food, sending it through, and then have it sit here going bad. Right now, I have enough food to get me through for a while. We'll continue to clear out some more food as we go, and we will get everything up and running. I do need to also get like the basic amenity. Right now, we have a regular outhouse, so I don't even have a second cot for Arthur. Put that in quick. I will put in and to bring 2 more colonists over from the main colony. Let's get that set up as well. But for now, we're gonna call it an episode, and we'll come back and we'll work more on Gurgani in the next one. If you enjoyed watching it, and we'll see you next one. Bye-bye.